for tuning in. Today we will be making 3 of my favourite smoothies that I've got right here. You'll notice some of them are a little bit down. Someone just came into my house and just stole a sip. It was so weird. I have no idea who it was. Anyway, firstly I'd like to say I am new to YouTube. I have no idea what I'm doing. I decided to do the pretend cooking channel after I saw Jennifer Garner do it on Facebook, and she actually inspired me to start baking again. And I used to bake all the time as a kid, and it brought me a lot of fun and enjoyment over the school holidays. So I've recently taken it up again and I'm loving it. I thought I should do some healthy ones as well, so I've decided to do half healthy and half naughty. So each fortnight you'll either be getting a healthy recipe or a baking / sweet treat recipe as well. So today for the first one I'm doing smoothies. These ones probably going to be one of my favourite recipes. I got most of them from a hotel that I used to work at, but I have changed up the ingredients so it's not stealing. Plus they're also pretty common, I'd say. Like you can pretty much get these in any cafe anywhere. This green one here looks rank and it is so good. The amount of people that I try it and they go, I'm not drinking that. And they go, oh my god, I want another one. It's so good. So stay tuned for that one. That one will be first. The Endo tonic, berry bliss and mango passion. I hope you like it. I'm losing my voice a bit today, first of all, sorry. So first of all, we will be making the Endo tonic, which is filled with ingredients that can help with your PMS and endo symptoms. The next one is a berry bliss, which is super tasty. It's really good for like a morning tea, or even if you're just craving something sweet and want to settle those sweet cravings, that's a really good one. And the last one that we'll be making is the mango passion, which is a little bit expensive to make, so I just like to keep it for my weekend one or just a treat one. I get it, the ingredients whenever I can afford it and just keep it in the cupboard, and just on a day when I'm really feeling unmotivated, this is my little trick. So yeah, I hope you like it. Okay, so what you'll need is obviously a blender. This one I got from Kmart. It just cost me 20 bucks, which is pretty good. It's a little bit small for 2, but in saying that, I like mine big. And then the next thing that you're gonna need is obviously the ingredients for whatever smoothie that you choose to make. I'll pop the recipe times down below if you're looking to make a particular smoothie. You'll also find all the recipe details in my blog. The link will be below. And if you don't like reading and reading's not your thing, on Pinterest I've just put the pictures with all the recipe details. So you don't need to click on a blog, you don't need to read through anything, it's all there. So today I'll also be listing a few little tips that I found out when I was researching the ingredients for all these ones. Oh, sorry, cheer. If you do want more information, there is much more on the blog post, and I have included references to where I got all my information from, which is all science-backed references as always. So I also picked up this today. These are some food bags. I haven't tried them before, but I've read lots about them. My mum, auntie and grandma, they all use them and swear by them. So what you can do with these, which are really handy, like this is a good one to store bread in, and then this one is really good just to store your fruit and veg in the fridge as well. So the benefit of using this is if you're preparing for a flare-up, or if you're like me and get brain fog in the morning, what you can do is you can actually put all the individual ingredients in these bags and put them in the fridge. So then when you get up in the morning, all you have to do is grab the bag. You don't have to portion out anything, nothing. It's all done, ready to go. You just chop it up and chuck it in the blender all in one bag. And then you just chuck this in the wash. Then it just says gentle machine wash and cold water and hang to dry. This little pack actually came with 4, which is really cute. Responsibly made in India, and this brand is called Ever Eco. So again, I will put the link to that one on the blog, and I will also update you in 2 weeks just to let you know how it goes and let you know how long my fruit lasted in the bags. Awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to portion up all of my smoothie ingredients into each of these individual bags. So I will do that now and come back to you in a minute. So I've put each of the smoothie ingredients into these bags here. I'm just going to chuck these ones to the side because I'll be using these ingredients in a couple of the smoothies actually. So before we get started, I just want to go over some of the booster powders that I'll be using today. These ones are superfood powders that go really well in smoothies, and it's just a great way to get an extra boost of nutrients, which is really important around flare-ups. The maca and the hemp are actually listed in my Remedies blog post, so I'll pop a link down that below, and be sure to check those out if you're interested in getting some more endometriosis, anti-inflammatory or pain remedies. This one is a massive brain brain booster. It also helps with moods and your PMS symptoms, which is awesome. Next, we've got the hemp. This is another one of my remedies. This one is filled with proteins and minerals as well, like iron and zinc. And then we've got the chia seeds. The chia seeds weren't in my remedies, but to be very honest, they very well could be. They're packed with B vitamins, omega-3 and magnesium, which are all really good for brain power. So this is a really good one as well if you're having a bit of brain fog. I'll usually chuck a couple, if not all of these in together, but today I've just paired them up with the ones that I think they go best with. A good thing about the chia seeds is that they don't really have much flavor, so you can actually pop these ones on salads, cereals, pretty much anything you want. So it's a really handy superfood to have. There's also 2 more smoothie boosters that I'm not using today, but I do use quite regularly, so I thought I should give them a bit of a mention. Firstly, I've got LSA, which is linseed, sunflower and almond meal, so that's just all ground up into a little powder here. That's really good for fiber and a little bit of protein as well. And then I've also got the cacao powder. So this one is raw chocolate, so it doesn't taste like chocolate, it tastes like dark chocolate. This is the pure cocoa bean before it's roasted to become cocoa. So cacao, not cocoa. This one has got 16 times more antioxidants than blueberries and 2 times more magnesium than almonds. My favorite one for this one is just with a bit of peanut butter and a banana. Kind of tastes like Reese's Pieces. Pretty good. Okay, so the first one I'll be making now is the Endo tonic, and this one is honestly my favorite breakfast smoothie. I actually got this recipe from a hotel that I worked at, so it's a little bit cheeky, but I've done a little bit of variation to it so it's not totally theft. So I'll go over the ingredients that we're using quickly. Today we'll be using bananas, which are really high in fiber. They're also high in pectin, which not only aids your digestive system, but it helps to rid your body of heavy metals, which is really important if you're not exercising and sweating regularly. Bananas are also really high in tryptophan, and tryptophan is converted into serotonin in the brain, which is the happy hormone. So this, with the banana and the power of the maca, with all the brain boosting power, I always notice within 5 minutes of getting this into my tummy, I've got a little pep in my step. It's like that little bite you get from coffee. You're just like, oh, okay, I'm ready. We'll also be using cinnamon. Cinnamon is good because it's got a really good flavour. It's also a really potent anti-inflammatory, which I was quite surprised to learn. The honey has healing properties. It's also a little bit of an antibacterial as well. Not a whole lot of nutrients in the coconut water, but it makes it taste good. If you don't want to use the coconut water, by all means just use normal water, or also you can use coconut oil. I have got some in the pantry, but I don't know how it would taste, so I don't really want to try it, to be honest. But if you want to, you can. I've also got some spinach here, which is really high in iron and folate as well, which is really important for menstruating women. And then lastly, I also have some desiccated coconut, and that's just to garnish a little bit at the top. It also, if you stir it in, provides a little bit of extra texture, which is quite nice. Okay, so for this one, I would usually start by chucking in about a handful of ice, but I live with an ice thief who refuses to fill up the cup again. So I've just decided to use a little splash of cold water straight from the fridge today, and I think that should do the trick. So next you'll need half a banana. No, it's a runaway banana. Okay, so next we're going to grab a handful of spinach. Make sure that you have washed your hands before you touch spinach, because you can get food poisoning really easy. And in fact, I'm going to do a double wash just to make sure. Okay, so I've washed my hands. So now just a small little handful of spinach, about that much. You can chuck in more if you really like spinach. Can't really taste the spinach flavour though, which is nice, because I personally don't like the taste of spinach. But all the sugar in the coconut water is really going to help that. So now I will just do this to almost coat all the ingredients. Say about maybe half a cup there. A little dash of cinnamon. And now maca powder actually has a little bit of a nutty flavour to it, and it's quite potent. So I only like to put in 1. But if it is a morning that I am a little bit more brain fogged, I'll chuck in 2 teaspoons and just a little bit extra coconut water just to sweeten it up a little bit. I've also got this honey. It is a bit expensive, but they do different ranges of honey from different bees in different areas. This one is Bee Corps Coastal Honey. It's 100% Australian always. This one goes great in smoothies, so it's perfect. Cool. So now we blend. So for this one, you are going to want to blend it on high for about 30 to 40 seconds. You're gonna want to turn it on at the power point as well. And then almost every time I do it, there's always one lost little spinach leaf that somehow floats to the top. So I just like to pulse it a couple of times, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, now you're just going to want to pour it into a glass straight away. And then just grab a little sprinkle of desiccated coconut. I don't know if you can see that in there, it's a pretty tiny amount. And there we go. But I'm also going to have a sip because my mouth is salivating looking at that. Okay, so next up is the berry bliss smoothie. This one is the one that I like to make just for morning tea or when I'm craving something sweet. You can just get frozen berries as well. They're super cheap, so much cheaper than buying fresh berries, and tastes exactly the same, to be honest. So I really like berries, so I'll just chuck 3 tablespoons in there probably. And berries are really good because, as you'll read in my Remedies article, they actually naturally contain resveratrol. I'm going to post amazing. Yeah, they're actually high in resveratrol, so eating a berry. They've also got a good amount of fibre and are packed with vitamins as well. Then you've also got the yogurt, which is good for probiotics. If you're going dairy-free, which is good, and I'll tell you why in a second, then you can just get some coconut yogurt. I have tried it before, it is very sweet, so just watch out for the sugar content in those as well. I find that the berries are so sweet that you can't actually taste the soy that much, which is good because I don't really like the flavour of it. The problem with normal milk is that it's got a protein in it called A1 casein. That protein causes a histamine and inflammatory response. So it causes your allergies to flare up and it causes your inflammation system to flare up. So yeah, that's weird. So try and have soy milk when you can, especially if you've got, chronic inflammation or endometriosis. The next one is honey again. I always like to get Jama pot set yogurt because it's not processed like the other yogurts are, so they're not filled with thickening agents and all these weird ingredients that really aren't good for you. It's all done in the jar. But because of that, if you've never had it before, you'll notice it's completely fine now, but I can tip it out. There is a little bit of liquid that forms up the top, and that's going to happen all the time. And that's just because it's fermenting, which means it's like, I don't know what that means. I know it's something to do with like, you leave it by itself and it turns. So smart. Okay, so next up is soy, which is actually quite good for fibre. And again, you can't really taste it because of the berries. And we'll just chuck in a bit of honey again. And then we'll grab some hemp too. So hemp is really good for protein and omega-3s and a bunch of other stuff. And then because it's seeds, and because the berries have seeds, you can't actually tell that they're there, which is quite good. I love watching this one change colour. So pretty. So this one you're going to want to blend for about 45 seconds just to really make sure that you get those hard frozen berries up. And then we're just going to pulse again for maybe about 20 seconds for this one. Okay, so I've just pulsed it a couple of times as well. It's still going to be quite seedy, we're going to get rid of all the seeds, but that's what helps to provide fibre and some roughage for your bowels, which means very limited bowel pain. So gross to talk about. Anyway, you can decorate this one as you please. If I've got fresh berries, I'll usually try and rest one on the top. Otherwise, you can cut a strawberry just down the bottom like they do in bars and just put one on the side, and it's pretty cute. So there's that one, and I'm going to taste that one as well. It's so sweet. So good. And that one's pretty cheap to make because you get, the berries are expensive, but you get quite a lot out of it. Again, I'm just going to put all my ingredients in the bag. This one is probably going to stain the bag. Berries stain stuff quite a lot and quite stubbornly, if that's the word. Stubborn, quite stubbornish, stubbornly, very stubborn. My mum would be having a fit at me right now. Anyway, you put it in there, it's probably going to stain, but I'm going to keep it for this purpose anyway, so I don't mind. My pains are getting pretty bad as well. I'm going to keep pushing through. But if I seem a bit silly, that's probably why, because it feels like there is someone just like carving at the top of my gut right now, which is really fun. So that leaves lastly, the best one is the mango passion. So these mangoes are a little bit pricey. It's about $5 a tub and you only get about 2 smoothies out of it, compared to the frozen berries, which is $4 a bag, and you'd probably get about 10 smoothies out of that. So yeah. Passion fruit pulp on the other hand, yeah, make sure you get the pulp just in the can. It tastes the same. You really don't need the fresh stuff. It's fine. You're not 5-star. You've got Endo. Just get the nutrients into you. This one's super tasty. Mangoes are really high in vitamin C, which is quite surprising, and vitamin C is really good for your skin. So if you are stressed out and are in the mood to make a breakfast and do feel like a bit of a treat, your skin's probably not loving you right now very much either. So giving it a good dose of vitamin C and something healthy and tasty at the same time, it's a win-win for everyone. So I'll just chuck in maybe 4 slices of mango. Just do it to how you please. I've got another one to make, so I'm just going to save a little bit more, but if you want to chuck in the whole jar, by all means. Okay, so I'm just going to pour this in because it's going to be too hard to do with the spoon. Maybe like 2-3 teaspoons. So I'm going to chuck 2 teaspoons of chia in here because again, you can't taste it. It's quite nice, and this one doesn't have very much texture. I get a little bit from the mango, but not a whole lot. I find the seeds just give it quite a nice consistency. And a squirt of honey as well. Pretty simple. This one you don't really need to blend for too long, maybe about 20 seconds. And then because this one is my weekend treat one, and I'm not really drinking at the moment because it's causing my flare-ups, I like to serve mine in a fancy glass. So today I'm having mine in a wine glass, like a lady. So as you can see, this one's pretty sludgy, but that's what you want from a smoothie, right? Especially when you're not using ice cream and stuff, you want it thick. And it's going to be pretty hard to pop the can in the fridge. And just chuck it in a glad bag. Chuck it in a gladdy. She'll be right, mate. Alright. Cool bananas. Alright, that's the last of my smoothies. Yay. One more quick thing, I am not a nutritionist. This is not meant to be dietary advice. The information that I'm giving I have found on Google. I have provided the references. If you want to argue, please argue with the references, not me, okay? I am just trying to help you. I am just trying to educate and do my best and bring you tasty smoothies that you can make when you can't really think or function or are in a heap of pain, like I am right now. I was going to do a part 2 of this, but my pains are getting pretty bad, so I think that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed everything. Please be sure to react down below. Let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions, if you want me to keep doing them, if you don't want me to keep doing them, please let me know. I don't know what I'm doing, and any feedback would be greatly appreciated. And then the next thing you're going to need is obviously the ingredients for everything. And then we've also got the, sorry, I'm losing my voice, I'm very tired. And this one is because but if it's a morning that I'm really brain fogged, I'll chuck in 2 and just tuck in a little extra coconut. I don't know. I'm not a cooking expert. I just make the smoothies. People just walk past and I'm by myself in my kitchen with all the windows open and a camera facing me sipping on a smoothie. Yeah, you don't have to completely switch out dairy. I don't. I should, but I like it. It's nice. Endo makes me give up too much already, so if I want milk in my coffee, I'm gonna have milk in my coffee. So if you are having a down day and you're a little bit stressed, your skin's probably suffering a little bit as well. I'm gonna have to use my teeth. Gross. Got hair in my face. The light's changing really quickly in here, by the way, because the sun's setting, so if it looks stupid, yep, new tuber. I'm a smoothie connoisseur.